Whether you're building your very first PC or your 85th PC, or maybe you're upgrading your case, Fractal Design today has released the brand new Pop 2 Vision case, and it looks pretty sweet. We've done a full build here, but in this video, we're going to do an unboxing and an overview to show you what this case can provide and everything that comes inside of this box. In my next video, we'll be doing the build, so stay tuned for that. Let's get started. Quickly checking out the box. First, we can see Fractal Pop 2 Vision, nothing much over here. Over here, we see the model number, model name, UPC, all that good stuff, and nothing much on the rest. Careful when you're taking the foam off, because this is on the top piece. We'll go over that in a second. Starting off quickly with the user's guide. All right, so just information on the case, and I'm sure how to disassemble it, how to reassemble it, but we're going to go over everything, if not in this video, in the build video, so stay tuned for that. Then here, the attention: if there's anything wrong with the case, don't return it to Fractal, return it to where you bought it from, the typical stuff. Then here is the magnetic filter that comes stuck in the foam, and it's actually a lot more sturdy than they usually are. Okay, so cool. All right, so here again is the case, and I'm going to remove this. So, oh, that hurt. When you do that, make sure you hold the glass, because if not, it'll come slam on you. But that, I guess, is a nice thing because it's toolless. You can take off the side panel, but maybe there was a warning, I didn't see it. But anyway, and then here they have this piece here, piece of rubber that kind of seals it and blocks it right over here. Maybe a nice touch. I'll keep it, I don't want to throw it away. And there's another piece of film right there as well. And as we can see, it's panoramic. I should have, again, held it right there, but it's actually nice to see that in the front, they also made this panel easily removable. So just be careful. When you go to peel it off, and when you go to remove it, that it comes off. So that's nice that it allows for that. Very cool. So the case measures from the foot all the way to the top, about 17.5 inches, and I'll put the measurements down below. And then from the front to the back, 17 inches as well. And is a little over 11.5 inches wide, or deep, I should say. So it is a nice hefty case. Let me go ahead and remove this panel. All right, so already we can see some nice things in this case. At the bottom here, they have reverse fans. These fans are blowing cool air into the case from the bottom, which means there's a filter as well, and this is going to be washable. Just make sure you dry this because this is steel. So that's cool, and it came off incredibly easy. Then we're going to have here the side fans that are also going to be blowing cool air in. And then this one, I'm assuming, is also toolless. Very cool. And these panels are washable as well. Maybe not washable, but you can wipe them off or blow them off incredibly easily. Here are the fans, and again, they're blowing cool air in. These are reverse fans, so they're sucking cool air from the outside into the case. And you notice that they're not perfectly flat. They're tilted a little bit to blow more cool air this way instead of just straight this way, which it will still radiate, but this is a little cleaner. Then we can see down here, there is almost no plate here. to put your motherboard. They completely opened it up so that you could fit anything and everything back here. So this will support Mini-ITX, Micro-ATX, ATX, E-ATX. It'll support just about any type of motherboard. And then of course with all that, you have all these grommets right over here to fit any kind of cable you want right through it, even through the bottom as well. To give you a better view of the bottom, again, this is the two fans that will be blowing cool air into the case. Here are some open grommets. So then coming around the rear of the case, we can see right over here, this is a dual chamber design. You can fit a power supply here or here, either which way. Then you would just move that plate over here. Then we have the IO right over here, and you are able to fit a rear fan, 120 millimeters. Then on the rear of the case, we have up to 7 IOs, but the bottom 3 is one panel fused altogether. Maybe not fused, but you can see it's one panel right over here, and that's for 3 IO, looks like it. And it is a bit awkward, but we can see right over here, it looks, yeah, so there's 3 here, 7 altogether. And if you remove these 3, if you needed to, you can move these down here, which for a graphics card will take more than likely 2 of these. So that'll fit right over here. So they kind of thought of everything on this. That's a very unique design. I haven't seen that before. Then coming along the rear of the case, we can see that they have spots here for 3 2.5-inch SSDs or a single 3.5-inch hard drive, as well as a single 2.5-inch SSD. This panel here is removable. This is the only thing it seems like you need a screwdriver for, other than, of course, installing the screws for the SSDs or the mechanical drive. But then with that, you can remove this plate. By lifting it out. And then if you had a power supply up here, then you can just install this plate here. That way you don't lose the ability to have additional drives. For cable routing, not only do they have everything out in the open that you could literally touch everything, but then they have these right over here, Velcro straps going all the way down there to make cable management so much nicer. And then a grommet right over here and right over here so that you could slide all the cables with that angled side they have for the fans. Down here, they have some of the accessories, which we'll go over in a second. And then we have some of the front panel buttons and fan connections and everything. Here we have the power switch. Then we have a USB 3.0 header. And then we have HD audio. Then in that same cluster of cables, we have 3 PWM connections coming into a single one so that they daisy chain, so we don't have to take up 3 separate headers on the motherboard. We have just this single one that will connect all the fans, which is beautiful. And then over here, which comes up to over here as well, we have the ARGB portions of the fans. All of the fans it brings are ARGB fans, not only reverse fans. Coming along the top of the case, here is where you would put that magnetic filter if you wanted to. You can also leave it out, but it looks nicer with it on. When you insert this metal filter, which again is very solid, they give you a little tab right over here that you can use to just put your finger right in and take it out. Here you could fit up to a 360 millimeter radiator, which is beautiful for liquid cooling, or 3 120 millimeter fans, or 2 140 millimeter fans. Then over here we have the power button, headphone jack, USB 3.0, or of course 2.0. Then we have USB-C, and then the RGB buttons. In case you don't have RGB headers on your motherboard, the case can take care of it. But then of course you have to go with what they have programmed in them. So again, on the top, either 3 120 millimeter or 2 140 millimeter. On the side, 2 120 millimeter. On the rear, a 120 millimeter. And along the bottom, 120 millimeter as well. On the bottom, And the side, we're not able to install an AIO or the liquid cooling radiator, but we are able to at the top up to a 360. So we could fit a 360, 280, anything along those lines. And then on the rear, if you wanted to, you're able to install a 120 millimeter radiator as well. Now I showed it to you from the inside. This is the bottom of the case, and actually it's a nice compartment. The way that you can remove this to clean it, the filter, and then just slide it in. Here you could see where they installed the fans. And this does have rubber feet. These feet are an inch tall. And then of course, just hiding all the cables right now, just so that I could show you. But when you put that side panel back on, typically that's gonna rattle a little bit, so you would actually hear that while the system is running. But then they have a rubber piece right over here to stop it from vibrating. So they took care to pay attention to every nook and cranny in this case. And I'm really liking how simple and effective all of their ideas were. And then inside of the accessories bag, they bring, first off, 4 little teeny tiny zip ties. Then this is the ball catcher. Here we have 8 of the mounting screws. So you can see that there. 12 of the M3 mounting screws. 4 transport screws. 4 of the 3.5 inch drive screws for the 3.5 inch drive. A single additional motherboard standoff screw. And last, definitely not least, the power supply screws. So now you know a little bit more about the ins and outs of this case and what it could potentially provide for you. In this video here, you're gonna find every single step I took to build this PC. And if you've never built a PC before, it'll help you from start to finish. And if you built tons before, I think it might still help you. Thanks for stopping by ThisBytesForYou. Iggy out. See you guys.